Have you ever heard a recording of your voice and immediately thought, "That can't be me, it sounds completely wrong"? If so, you're in good company. Almost everyone has that moment of disbelief when they first hear their own voice played back. It sounds higher, thinner, or just off. But here's the thing, the voice in the recording is the real you. The voice you're used to hearing inside your head is actually an illusion, shaped by the way sound travels through your body. So why does this happen? The answer is a fascinating mix of physics, biology, and perception. When you speak, your vocal cords vibrate, creating sound waves. Those waves travel in two different ways to reach your ears. The first is the obvious path through the air. The sound leaves your mouth, travels outward, and enters your ears just like any other nose in the world. This is how everyone else hears you. But there's a second, hidden path those vibrations take through the bones and tissues inside your head. This is called bone conduction, and it adds depth and resonance to the sound you perceive when you speak. Bone conduction works because vibrations from your vocal cords don't just escape into the air, they also travel through your jaw, skull, and inner ear. These vibrations emphasize lower frequencies, making your voice sound richer and deeper to you than it actually is. When you hear a recording, though, you're only getting the sound that traveled through the air, the pure, unfiltered version that everyone else hears. Without the extra bass boost from your skull, your voice sounds unfamiliar, even jarring. This is why singers, actors, and public speakers spend so much time listening to recordings of themselves. They need to train their ears to recognize how they really sound to others, not just how they hear themselves. If they only relied on their internal perception, they might speak too softly, mumble, or fail to project their voice properly. Recording yourself is the only way to hear your voice the way the world hears it. But here's something even more interesting: your brain plays tricks on you when it comes to your own voice. Because you hear it so often, your brain creates a kind of expected sound for how you should sound. When the recording doesn't match that expectation, it feels wrong. This is the same reason people sometimes dislike photos of themselves. They're used to seeing their mirror image, which is flipped, so the real thing looks subtly different. You can test this bone conduction effect with a simple experiment. Plug your ears and start speaking. You'll notice your voice sounds deeper and more muffled than usual. That's because you're cutting off the airborne sound and relying almost entirely on vibrations inside your head. It's proof that the voice you know isn't the one the rest of the world hears. Another factor that makes recorded voices sound different is the quality of the recording itself. Microphones don't capture sound exactly the way human ears do. Some mics emphasize certain frequencies, making voices sound sharper or boomier than they are in real life. Phone recordings, especially, often compress audio, stripping away nuances that make your voice sound natural. Even professional recordings can't perfectly replicate how someone sounds in person. So if your voice sounds strange on recordings, does that mean other people think it's strange too? Not at all. The voice you hear in recordings is the one they're used to. Just like you've grown accustomed to your internal voice, they've grown accustomed to the external one. In fact, if they heard a recording of their own voice, they'd probably have the same reaction you did. This whole phenomenon raises an interesting question: which version of your voice is the real one? In a way, both are. The voice you hear in your head is real to you, shaped by the unique way sound travels through your body. The recorded voice is real to everyone else, carried purely through the air. Neither is more authentic, they're just different perspectives of the same sound. Over time, most people get used to their recorded voice, especially if they work in fields where they hear it often. Podcasters, YouTubers, and singers learn to adjust their speech patterns based on how they sound in playback. If you've ever hated your recorded voice but had to listen to it repeatedly, you might have noticed that it starts to feel more normal. That's your brain adapting to the new input. So the next time you hear a recording of yourself and think, "Ooh, do I really sound like that?" remember, yes, you do, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just science. Your voice is a complex, ever-changing instrument, and the way you hear it will always be different from how others do. Instead of cringing, maybe it's worth appreciating how strange and cool it is that we each have our own private version of our voice, one that no one else will ever hear exactly the way we do. And if you still don't like how you sound, don't worry, voices can be trained. With practice, you can learn to speak more clearly, confidently, and with better tone, whether you're talking to a friend, giving a presentation, or recording a video. But that's a story for another time. For now, just know that your voice is unique, and the way you hear it is part of what makes you well, you.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.